Good morning, good afternoon, depends on where you are. It's Nancy, Jean, and Kelly. We're back here doing Past Life Thursdays. And I just wanted to let you know if you're right now, I'm going to put the banner up, but uh, we were, where'd it go? Okay, I posted it, but it didn't. Okay, I'm going to put a banner across the bottom. We've got all the questions we need. Then
Hi,
we can
everybody.
yeah, talk to him, Kelly, while I type.
All right. Thank you for being here, everybody. Happy Thursday to everyone. We're here to do the past life readings, as Nancy Jean says, and for everyone, just as a note to mention, don't forget to give us a thumbs up.
That's right.
Hit that bell notification so you know whenever new videos are uploaded or when a new show is coming up. And for the past life readings, normally Nancy Jean will put a post up and you put your questions in the community tab underneath the show post. So we have the questions in advance. Hi, baby.
That's right. And not today because we have a full house of questions. And last time I went through the questions so fast that at the end of them I was like, I was in the zone because trust me, anything I said is exactly what Spirit was telling me because I was not all together in that room. And past lives people are like, I have a couple here. I'm going to talk about them when we get to them, but like somebody wants to know if this person or that person was in their past lives. And that borders on cosmic spying, which is one of the things I don't do. And if for those of you who don't know, I'm teaching a tarot class right now, and we spend a whole day on past lives and a couple of other very specialized readings. So if you're really interested in that, watch for my next class, which will be in the spring. Because I'm stretched to the nth right now, and there's a doggy, and we'll look at it, and then maybe you can learn from your own. But what we're going to use today is pendulums, the Oracle Garden Past Life Edition. We're going to use cards, and we're going to use some specialized past life cards like these. This is blank Brian Weiss and Doreen Virtue, although Doreen doesn't own up to it anymore. Anyway, so we're gonna, with that, do you have anything else you need to bring about, Kelly? Blah, my mind's not working really.
Not really, just share the content with a friend and help us to continue to get the message out, helps grow the channel, leave comments after the video, all that good stuff.
Yeah, because when you do that, it tells us that it had some impact, and then we'll continue to work with this format, which not a lot of people are doing at the moment. But anyway,
don't put that out in the universe now. This is my puppy Rosie.
Mm-hmm.
And Rosie is fine until I press the live button, and then she wants to be a part of the live. So
yes, well, I'm gonna put you on the table, not you personally.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna put the camera on the table, and I'm gonna be working from here, and you get to see Kelly's smiling face for the whole rest of the time.
Yay!
But not so much mine. Anyway, this is the first question. Wow, this is awesome what we're doing. Yes, we agree. Is there a past life being strongly connected with me right now? And so I'm not going to do the garden for this one. I'm going to do the card. And the reading I use for the layout I use is called Spirit 7. And there's 3 cards are the past life, 3 cards are this life, and the card in the middle tells how they're connected right now. So, and there's the one that goes in the middle. Now, these 3 cards are the past life, and they point down. This is your current life, and this is where you are right at the moment. In a past life, you went through a very difficult time. that you probably store a lot of food up and stuff, because this shows a desolate time. You were a woman. You were kind of abandoned in society. If you see the Five of Pentacles here, it was a rough time for you. And so what this has done to you in this life is you were the good little girl and you followed all the rules, and your life got totally screwed. So what you've done in this life is you're not such a rule holder. You don't care kind of sometimes what society thinks, but you're also not a real big risk taker. And that's a leftover from living through that frightening time. And it wasn't that you took risks, it's just the society moved in a way that made it difficult for you. But right now you're starting to wake up and you're really starting to think, maybe I ought to go do something. And you are about to meet, I don't know if you've started working with some sort of intuitive group, but you're finding a whole new group of friends that are going to take you out of this. The mentality you carried in from that life was, don't take risks, don't put yourself out there. You're probably the sort of person that cans lots of food or stores lots of food in your cupboards. You've always want to make sure you have food there. I have a feeling food's been really important in this life because you didn't have it in that life. What'd you get?
Do you have the Queen of Cups there, or the Queen of Swords there?
Pentacle.
Queen of Pentacles. The only reason I got the Queen of Swords and the Queen of Cups, which is just interesting, when I threw the tarot down. So I've got I'm using the Past Life Oracle cards and a bunch of other cards.
Mm-hmm.
I've got the farm. So speaking about the canning of the food and the agriculture, I have got the Wisdom card, which is usually, to me, this is like spiritual enlightenment or on a spiritual path of some form. I also got the Kinship card. This is from the Energy and Spirit Oracle. Mm-hmm. And so community, right? Your soul tribe, family is very important to you. Now, when I threw the tarot cards, I got the two queens. And so, this is, again, speaking about your intuition and someone who is, all in their field, someone who could be like overly sensitive, like an empathic person, or it can be someone who is just very, warm and compassionate towards others, or a combination of both. And the Queen of Swords is someone who's very logical, very analytical, is a planner, right? Should all build the list. We have the Six of Wands, success, achievement, completion, recognition. So whatever you did in a past life, I feel that you were very good at what you did, and you were appreciated by your community. You were someone that was sought after, maybe even a person of like a healer type person, where other people would come to you and ask you, and you would go to them. I feel that really strongly. I don't know why. Did you pick anything up like that?
No, but I tell you what I did, and I'm going to do a yes, no. Now, for you that don't understand, when the pendulum swings up and down like that, for me, that's a yes. If it swings this way, it's a no. And what I just heard was 538. And 538 was the year when a volcano blew up on the other side of the world, and it froze Europe, and a lot of people starved to death and couldn't make it because it was so difficult. So we're going to see. Should she go watch a documentary on 538 to see how she relates to it? Absolutely. That's what happened to you. It wasn't that you were doing anything wrong, but you still have some soul tremors from having gone through that. That was a horrific time. It's actually been listed. The Chinese talked about it. They talked about it in Europe. They talked about it all around the Mediterranean. And in actual fact, it was considered one of the worst years in civilization in the historical times that we have recorded. So it's 538 AD, or Common Era, CE, however you feel about that. Anyway, okay, we're going to go to Silky Pink Rose. I would love to have a past life reading. I think I'm going to throw you in the garden. Let's see what you got, and then we'll okay. this in this life you were older. You've drawn on information from past lives to clarify for yourself and to bring yourself some good luck. It shows that you were female. And I think, Silky Pink Rose, you have been female probably more in your incarnations than male. And you keep traveling with the same soul family a lot. And to some extent, because you got your amber, which is one of the ancestry stones, actually their effect on you is receding. You're worked off a lot of karma with them. You don't have to come back for their trips anymore. But your life and how you function as life gets clearer as you get older and older. You really are getting more wisdom into your time here. And let's see. Was these past life we're looking at before the year 1000 common era? Yeah, it's ancient. So if you think 1,000 years ago is ancient, was she in Europe? You weren't in Europe. You had a past life. Let's see if it was in Asia. The Americas. You're in the Americas. You have a strong bloodline into the indigenous people because you went yes on Americas, and that's who's in the. Let's see if it's North or South America. We'll try that, and then I'll let Kelly loose on you. North America. Yeah, you were indigenous. You were among the indigenous people in North America prior to the year 1000 Common Era, and you were a leader. A lot of indigenous tribes had women who were leaders. So,
So the first I pulled a lot of cards here, because I feel like there has been something very significant that happened in a past life that has created, with in equal measure, positive reaction and negative reaction in terms of bringing that forward, right? I've got lessons and blessings, but I've also got the phobias and forgiveness cards. And oftentimes we bring those fears forward, right? I have from the Energy and Spirit Oracle the currents of emotion, which is uncontrolled feeling. So if you have like anxiety, for example, or some fear that sort of feels to you like it came out of nowhere, that fear is being brought forward from a past life. What's cool about that is that in the tarot, I've got the Six of Swords, so moving away from troubled waters towards a calmer shore. So you can conquer this fear. You can put it behind you. That's what the forgiveness is about releasing it, right? Leaving it in the past. So learning the lesson and implementing that and then moving beyond it. We've got the Page of Pentacles here, and that's about doing your research, getting your facts, and using the research and the facts that you find to fill your spiritual toolbox so that you can go after whatever you need to go after. And on the bottom of the deck, I've got the Ace of Swords. This is about standing in your truth. And so I feel like you're a very objective person, possibly even a little outspoken. And I think that is the way that you protect yourself with those fears or possible fears from the past. That doesn't really tell you about your past life, but that's what I got for you. So, and I apologize to everybody. My nose is running. That is how Spirit communicates with me. So I do apologize.
If your nose is running, go catch it.
Right?
Okay.
Nancy jokes.
I know. They're bad. I do dad jokes and I'm not a dad.
It's all good. It's all good.
Okay. Jeno, I shuffled the cards. I go by my instincts about which mode I think is going to get you the best reading. You're going to get cards, and I shuffled them. I'm going to shuffle one more time. Then we're going to cut them. When I pound on the deck, that's me telling the energy that's been in the deck to move out and to make it completely clean energy. So that's why I thump the deck when I read. Somebody said, "Why are you always pounding on your deck?"
You're knocking it.
I'm knocking it. No,
Transferring the energy.
mm-hmm.
Listen, I want to say to that point, and I'm sure that you're covering this in your tarot class, for anyone out there that tosses cards, that uses cards, whether it be, professionally or privately, just for yourself or for your friends, there is no right way, in my opinion, to shuffle.
No.
You do what resonates with you and what speaks to you. Don't let anyone tell you that what you're doing is wrong, is where I was going with that.
Okay, this life, in this past life, you had the moon card, which is a lot of disillusion. You blamed everybody else for your own problems that you were having, and you were kind of a not very nice lady. I got the Queen of Pentacles again, but she's on her head. It led you to not having everything, not having the values you should have had. So what you came into in this life is you're not going to sit around and wait on anybody else to do stuff for you. This is the Seven of Cups reverse, which means you're losing all those delusional thoughts that you had, and you've learned how to study the world and how to get on. Your problem is you still attract people who try to pull you into this delusional thing from the past. That's just that life reacting in this life again and giving you another chance to learn what you know, that you can't do it that way. But so you need to listen to the people. You need to really hear what people around you are saying to you, because you have a tendency to pull in some people still who want to pull you back into this life, making you regret everything, making you feel bad about everything. And you've learned a lot. You really, really have worked a lot out of it. But these sort of people are presented to you as trials for your soul to learn how to exist. What did you get, Miss Kelly?
Basically a lot of what you just said. Again, I've got the Phobias card, so it's picking up on, the outside influence and the perception of what that's all about. I've got trust and faith, which I feel like this was a problem for you, right? It was an issue for you to put your faith and trust, probably because you've been hurt. We've got the medicine man or woman, indicating that you were involved in that. So it's almost like you were on a spiritual healing path in a past life. Now, in the present moment, and I love this, so we've got the beneath the surfaces, right? Which is hidden truths, something unknown. So constantly on a search to bring forward something, right? Because it's like something's there, but you're not sure what it is. Got personal guide, which is your angels and your spirit family. Speak to them. Ask them for help. Ask them for clarity. I would be so interested to know if you write down and record your dreams, because you're probably getting all kinds of messages in your dreams that could be helpful in this area. And picking up on what Nancy Jean said about the friendship and the support system around you, these people are really, really, really important to not only your life and your heart, but to your overall sort of well-being. I feel like you were always trying to fit in, but didn't feel that you did. And I am going to go out on a limb and say that that's not how that really was. That's just how you perceived it. And so I think you brought that forward.
Okay.
That's what I got.
Okay. So we're going to go to the next one.
Sorry.
Linda D. Gonzalez, 4137.
Hi, Linda.
I would love a past life reading. I'm going to do you in the garden, and I'm going to start. This is another way you can start when you're reading in the garden. This is the Oracle Garden Past Life Edition, and I'll put in the comments where you can find it. It was designed by the lady who designed my garden, but she did it for past lives because it absolutely fascinated her. And this, what I'm doing is seeing whether you were male or female. And with a past life we're looking for you is one where you were male. And the way I know that is the female only swung out to here. The male, when the pendulum swung all the way to here. This garden is completely intuitive. I didn't design it, so I've had to figure it out. I've had to work with it to figure it out. So we're going to see. What was this guy up to? Okay, he was a Libra. He was in the right. He was into a lot of free will and stuff like that. He was a revolutionary in his time. He was younger, and he died younger. He was very, very close to his mother and learned a lot from her. And your clarity is in pulling all of the power and information together. And what I saw just before I threw the stones was you were in a cassock. You were in a like a medieval priest suit. Let me see if that's right. Was she since your name's Linda now, I'm going to say was Linda a priest in medieval times? Yeah, it went right to it. You were a priest, though. There's a lot about the church that is attractive to you that you like, but you also saw it from the inside, and that's why you tried to see all of what was going on around you. You found your real clarity, your real truth, your real light by trying to pull yourself into the center. And I think you're probably a really good priest in those times. And let's see, I'm seeing a date, so I'm going to see if the date works. Was she a priest in the 1300s? No, okay. Was she a priest in the 1400s? Okay, you were a priest in the 1400s, and I saw that area that's been German or French, where it keeps, like Alsace-Lorraine, that kind of an area where it goes back and forth between the two. So that's what I saw, and you were really good at what you did. Okay, go girl.
I got the karmic relationships, so picking up on that vibe that you got about feels sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Like a soulmate, twin flame, that kind of idea.
Well, the female energy that was part of that life could be coming through in this life, because
right.
It's something that's been very. It's when you meet up with that person in current times.
Yeah,
it's very lucky for you.
Yeah, like I feel like you know it, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I've got authority figures, so of course this could be a priest, but I feel that this is more like a person that is like a teacher to others, right? Mm-hmm. I've got lessons and blessings,
mm-hmm.
So I think it was a good life. I think it was a positive life
mm-hmm.
In the past. Now, I just threw a couple of tarot cards, and I've got the Six of Wands, which is success and victory, being seen, being appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got the Four of Wands, which is, the blessings, the joy. Sometimes this is the marriage card.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like your life was wonderful, was very happy, and you were very blessed. And so I sort of pick up a little bit of that church thing that you were saying.
Well, the church was in the 1400s. The church was your life. I mean, it was a life for all the people around them.
Yeah.
And
I just feel like you were very, very content in your life, and that's amazing.
Yeah, we don't get those. We get the grapes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Miriam, if you have time, I would love a past life reading of the lives I've lived with my sons. Their names are Justin and Arlie. Thank you. Sending my blessings to all of you. I'm going to try to do this quickly. This is one of those questions that I'll answer for you very superficially. If I see anything really weird, I won't talk about it, because that may not be something that Justin and Arlie want you to know about. They're not asking, you're asking. I consider looking at people that have been around you like that as cosmic spying, which is one of the ethics I try to teach people. You read the person you're with. You don't read, they may show up as characters around you, but anyway.
Yeah. I just want to say that there's lots of people asking if there's time for readings. Just so that everyone knows, we do see the comments. We're not trying to ignore you. The questions that we have here today were posted in the community tab before the show airs. That's how Nancy Jean does it. So we're not able to take any questions from the live chat because we started off with 19, which is amazing.
And we're going to have to fly to get to them. Okay. Yeah, I saw one of your sons was with you. I don't know which one. Whichever one is the better scholar, the better person at learning, they were with you. This may be your last life with them. This seems like whatever's gone on between the two of you is about to get wrapped up. The energy of this life is you both come together to finally figure out some part of your karma. And there may come a point where it's, let me see if I can get over this one. Okay. One of your sons was closer to their father than you, and that's also something you need to learn from, and it's just hang in there. It's going to be fine. And yeah, this whole trip with these guys is going to be complete in this life. But I think that whichever son is the better scholar is the one you've had lives with before. I think you've also had other lives with Justin and Arlene, and it's been a whole lot of stuff's gone on, but they've really helped you hone your skills as completing your karma.
I kind of get the same kind of vibe that you do. I've got the imprisonment and slavery card, as well as wars and battles. But then I've also got the spirituality and religion card. And so I feel like the battle is on one side. The spirituality is on another. In the past life that's been brought forward, I've got the justice card, which is implying what Nancy Jean is saying, that things are wrapping up because this is about truth and karma, and bringing things into, bringing unity and harmony together, right? We've got the Six of Wands, so this is the completion. This is the success, right? I've got the Two of Swords also, which is the crossroads, and I think that that the crossroads could be the blending of that energy, right? I'm in a war and a battle, and then I've got this whole spiritual side to me, and I'm trying to bring those two worlds together. And the Two of Swords is about confusion as well as crossroads. It's also about procrastination. And so I think that check in with yourself and see what it is that you want to do and live in your truth. We've got this card here, the Temperance card on the bottom of the deck. This is about control and moderation. We don't all have to agree, right? But we do have to make room for each. And I think that's part of the lesson somewhere from the past life. And by the way, I've got the Wheel of Fortune underneath that. So again, with the karma, right?
Yeah, it's the wheel. It's coming full circle.
Yep.
Okay.
Thanks, Miriam, for the question.
Thank you for the question. Good vibrations energy. What past lives are relevant for my healing and intuitive gifts? So I'm going to use the past lives deck from Brian Weiss to look at that. And we're going to lay out 3 and see how it works out for you. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. You were a survivor of, and I think this was in Europe in the 1800s when all the countries went after each other all the time. You were the mother figure of this family. You survived hunger, food and hunger during this time of war and battles. And what I see is that you had 4 children. There's only 2 in this picture, but you actually had 4. And your healing and intuitive gifts is you lived by your intuition. That's how you survived in that time. You knew when to get out of the village before it got hit again. and you knew where to take your kids to hide them so that they always had what they needed. But it was a time of great deprivation around you, and you're one brave lady. I think you've been a mother a lot of times, and I think you've put yourself in that role. And if you came in this time and you don't have children, it's because you didn't want that burden, so you could just work on your own healing gifts without having to worry after another little life. Okay?
I got the communal living card, so picking up on that whole family vibe, everybody trying to get along, making room for all. Picking up on the intuition thing, I've got the wisdom card showing up here. Also got the spirituality and religion, so your intuition and your sort of spiritual practices has been something that has been brought forward. I also got this card here, which is the journey guide. Now, normally this is about changing a location and, like going around the globe. I feel like in this case that this card represents a very worldly sort of open-minded view of people and situations, right? You are non-judgmental, you are very diverse, and you are very empathetic towards, the world in general, people around you. I feel like people gravitate towards you because of that. Like, I think that you have quite a warm light that sort of brings people towards you, almost magnetic in a way.
Okay. Next question, Lady Silver 1111. I would love a past life reading. Thank you so much. I'm going to do it really quick. I'm going to do a Spirit 7 because those are quicker, and we're falling behind, girl. Uh-oh.
No one would believe that I have like a 3-seater couch and 4 different chairs in my living room. The dog has 2 beds in here, and she's got to sit on the stool where the laptop is.
Of course.
So if you see me moving the laptop around, that's why, you guys.
Okay. You were a mystic in a past life. You had a lot of intuition, but you were male, and you were a leader in a situation where and I really feel this is in the Middle East. And you wanted to move from where you were living, but you couldn't move on because you were tied to these 2 roles, being a person with authority and also being a person of high intuition. So in this life, what's happened is you came in this life and you said, enough of this heavy duty stuff I had to do. I want to party. I want to have a good time. You do not want to be the person who leads other people forward. You want to go inside and take care of yourself. You don't want to be the person who has to initiate a lot of stuff, because in this life, this guy was really tied to it and couldn't get out. And I think for some reason, you're intuitive in this life. I think you've got a lot because that sort of skill doesn't go away. But I for some reason, I'm going to see if my thing's right here. No, there's a man, a dark-haired man, who had a lot of helped you form a lot of your value systems. I was thinking it was your father, but I didn't get that. It's someone close to you, and they really pissed you off because they told you couldn't move on and that you weren't smart enough. But you're more than smart enough. What you're trying to do in this life, though, is have a good time and not worry about all that stuff. So you need to get him out of your head and just go ahead and have a good time.
I got a lot of similar. So I've got the authority figure yet again. I feel like this is like someone passing judgment on you. I think that you weathered a lot of storms. And I think that we've got the unrequited love. So, that could be the reason. Not feeling the love back from the person that you are loving. If that makes sense. We've got the tree coming up. The tree always represents your ancestors and your wisdom to me. Also your personal strength. And I also got the Archangel Zedkiel, which is self-acceptance, compassion, and forgiveness. So all of that from the past life is in the present life, and this is something that you're constantly working on, is trying to be more accepting of yourself, and to have issues with forgiveness, right? Letting things go. That's what I got.
Okay. Okay. Marsham 1611. Nancy, I'd love a past life reading. Thank you. Okay. We're going to use, I think it's kind of good that we're showing you all the different sorts of cards and different ways you can do this, so that
Yeah.
you don't think I have to do it this way. Oh, you got food and hunger again too, man. Karmic relationships. You know, a lot of people. Oh.
Someone asked earlier about telling the cards. If you stick around when we're done, I'll show you like the different cards that I'm using. I just, I'll forget if I have to do it each time.
Marsham, what you had is you went through a difficult time. You went through it with someone you loved very dearly, and that may even be the person you're married to now or very close to right now. But you've had this relationship with this person time after time after time after time. Let's see what else I can pull out of that person. Well, the karmic relationship works out. The thing is, when you first met this person, you didn't recognize them. You didn't see the connections, but then it broke through. Your mental energy broke through, and you are very attached to them, and very accepting of them, and it's someone you can speak with freely no matter what. So that's a person in your life, and they came from a past life, and it was the time that was tough. It was hard.
Yeah, I totally get that. Wow. Okay, so I've got the male and female card. So picking up on what you're putting down there, Nancy Jean. I've got the leaving or travel, and I just feel like you were never at the right place at the right time in the right moment with that person, right? So it's like you were constantly chasing it.
Ships that pass in the night.
Right, and then I've got the monk or nun. Now, in this particular case, I truly feel, and I'm not just saying this, based on the next card that I've got, I feel like you were like, well, if I can't have that, then this is the route I'm going to go, right?
Right.
But it's not for me. I'm obviously, it's not meant to happen. And so you went to that route. And I've got the Avalon Priestess in Intuitive Awakening. What's interesting to me about that is I literally feel like you went to that life, and so if you are intuitive now, that you're that either like you're not trusting it or you're not listening to it, is what I'm feeling. Like you're not. It's like you're not aware of it. You're not aware, or you second guess it constantly. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Whoops! I'm dropping my cards down between the chair and the stool. Lovely.
Uh-oh. That's not a good thing.
Good times. Hold on.
You get to play 52 pickup.
Oh my gosh! Do I ever?
At least you haven't set your cards on fire. I was watching a reader one time who got too close to her candle and set it.
Andrea from Lilac Lantern.
Yep.
You know, I used to do the same thing. I always had a candle going, and I would always wait. And I'm like, nope, I'm not doing that anymore.
No, it can get very, very hot. So we're moving on, right?
Because I would do that for sure.
Okay. Josephine Schwartz, 2572. Greetings. Can you tell me if I had a past life as a healer, and is this the path I should be following in this life? So I'm going to do that as a yes, no. And okay, here we go. Yeah, you were in the church. You were like a monk who was the healer, at the um, monastery that you lived at. You were a soldier, and you were very happy in that life. Yes, this is absolutely a yes. I think not only were you a healer in that life, I think you were a surgeon in lives in between. And that's why you're trying to move it. This is someone who has lots of good and intuitive thoughts. You were male more often than female. You were a surgeon. You came in this time in your body because you wanted to be more receptive, although you find it a little difficult to. You're not a shy little rose. Let me put it to you that way. But you are achieving that goal. So if that's the path you're supposed to be on, you're a healer. You're a healer.
Absolutely. Okay. Sorry, my nose is running like crazy. I do apologize. I started out with the orphan card,
Mm-hmm.
followed by baby,
Mm-hmm.
followed by authority figures.
Mm-hmm. So he went into the monastery really young.
Yeah. And I almost feel like you brought something of that forward. So if you're feeling the need always to look after children or be around children or to be
Mm-hmm.
like an advocate for children, you could be like a teacher, you could be like a
Mm-hmm.
children's lawyer, a therapist, something like that. Children really speak to your heart, because I think that you were one of those children that were not looked after by the people that are supposed to look after them.
Okay.
And then I've got this ancestors card, which is really, really pretty in the
Mm-hmm.
image. The message says historical connections and purposes. And so
Yeah.
those things are really lined up for you.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere in your life, you work with kids.
She works with kids, and she's also always worked in medicine and healing and getting
Yeah.
people better. Okay.
Beautiful.
We've got like 7 questions left, and I don't
Yep.
think we're going to make them all. We're
It's
going
all
to try.
right. We're good.
Okay. Jenny Baez, 444. May I have a past life reading? Yes, that's why you're in the queue, because you may. I'm just going to stick with the 7 cards because they go faster and I get more information. It's the past life thing I've done the most. I love the garden, but I use the garden when I do really long past life readings.
Yeah.
Which, if you are interested in a past life reading, you can go to my website and book one. And they're really long. They're like an hour or longer, and we go into all the details, and I spend a lot more time. But quick and dirty for Jenny is, in a past life, you're kind of finished with most of your past lives. You're kind of done with them. You don't need to cater to the messages that come from them. And this life is not necessarily there to polish one of them up. What I see is you've got a really strong set of values you bring forward, and you're really interested in new things, meeting new people, new situations, new things. You don't necessarily you don't need to run away from this life. It's been more or less settled. You didn't carry that much kind of karma in, but the one thing you did carry in is you don't want to be the leader. You want to do your own path and do your own thing, but you're very open to everyone who you run into. People probably walk up and just start talking to you about anything. So
I totally get that, Nancy Jean, what you just said.
good.
Okay,
Nice
so
when we agree.
I've got the farm, right? Now, what
Mhm.
does the farm represent? To me, it's, the land, right?
Mhm.
Living off the land, but like there's a sense of freedom and carefreeness that you don't get from living in suburbia, right? We have the orphan
Mhm.
again coming out. So if you just look at her position, she doesn't look like a person that comes from this environment, this open, carefree kind of land. Which is, I mean, honestly, I could cry. When I pulled the next card, look at what I got: freedom, moving on, and letting go. So this life is getting rid of that feeling of abandonment, not belonging, and where do you fit in, really? I would be interested to know if Jenny has a particular, like maybe live in the country, or maybe like you'd like to just be in like big open spaces. You don't like to be like closed in. Oh my God, you were adopted? Wow.
So you picked the people who were your sperm and egg donors, but you went to the people who had the right vibrations for you.
Yeah. The last card I got is choosing your path. All is possible. So just again, on that vibe of that freedom, that if I can just be allowed to spread my wings, I have the whatever I need to make a great life for myself, to live my highest and best life. That's beautiful.
And Luna Celeste Soul. Hi, can I have a past life reading? Of course, that's why we're here. I'm gonna do a 3-card out of the past life deck. That's what I'm being drawn to. And if Addie and Frank, my 2 guides, tell me to go there, that's where I go. You got a bit of the Irish forgiveness and lessons and blessings. You're having, in a past life, you were over in Ireland or maybe Scotland. That life was about forgiveness. So I think you were in Ireland. I think you lived in Ireland during some of the troubles between the Catholics and the Protestants. And through learning forgiveness, you got lessons and blessings. So I imagine in this life, you may be acting that out by being a peacemaker. Because this clearly to me is, there's a whole lot on both sides of that argument. And I'm Irish, and like mostly Irish, like Irish and Viking. That's my 2 bloodlines. And I understand this and how hard it is to forgive the horrible things that happened on both sides over there, but that the lesson and the blessings come from understanding the forgiveness. And oh God, girl, you used to talk to the fairies. You're going to have a good time, because in the next few years, the elementals are coming back. The wee folk that you used to play with, I think you probably even had dreams of when you were a child in Ireland, and you'd go out in the field and the wee folk would be there. So you were probably alive and well and kicking in Ireland in the 1700s.
Jackie said, lucky you being Irish. Jackie's from Ireland. Thank you, Jenny, for the super sticker. So we have the farm card yet again showing up. Luna, speaking of Ireland, right? Those big green pastures and the working horse, the draft horse.
It's the greenest place I've ever seen in my life.
It's so beautiful.
Unreal.
We have father. Okay. The next card that we've got is spouse. So to me, that's like family is everything. Family is everything. Now, this card here, this phase entanglement is emotional influence. So I'm not good enough. I don't measure up. Now, I don't know if that was a message that you got in the past life, or if that's just how you felt in the past life, but I think you might deal with that now. The last card that I pulled is from Ocean, and we've got sweet success, which tells me that you're going to get past that feeling that you are not good enough, right? That you are not measuring up, because that is an expectation that you have set for yourself based on something that isn't real, right?
Well, it's not in this life. It was in the life.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. But it's because of that. And Nancy Jean had said before about doing the in-depth past life readings. I have been a happy recipient of 2 of Nancy Jean's readings. I have anxiety panic disorder. I have so many fears and phobias, it's not even funny. And these readings really provided me with a sense of relief and understanding that now I know why I do some of the things that I do and why I behave and feel and think certain ways, which I was then able to work on without feeling blame or shame and feeling stuck about it, if that makes sense. So I hope that this helps you, Luna.
Okay. She wants to know if she had a past life with her high school sweetheart, so I'm going to do that as a yes, no. Because my high school sweetheart was the drummer in the band. And he ended up doing that for his living. He lives in Las Vegas. Unfortunately, he turned into a trumper, so. I don't think I think you met him, but not, it's someone you've met in this life who had a very sharp tongue and wrote a lot, maybe was like he became a lawyer. He's the person that you had the past life connection with. And you two are like oil and water. You avoided each other. This says no, it's not your high school sweetheart, but there has been someone who you could find balance with, and that could relieve you of feeling depressed or withdrawn. But it was someone you met when you were older in your life, and I'm really feeling like it was a lawyer, and you two just couldn't get it on. I mean, just couldn't get along. But that's the past life. That's the past life person you met, not the high school sweetheart.
Yeah, I got food and hunger. And I got phobias. I also got lessons and blessings. And that's for the past life, right? Moving into your current life, you said lawyer, I've got teacher, but someone who was able to sort of connect with you in a way that you weren't used to. Because I think in your past life, you approach things from a state of fear and control, right? This new person that's either coming into your life or in your life now is a person that teaches you by example, right? Like if I love you and you feel the way that I love you, you're going to pick up that vibration, as opposed to you have to love me because I said so kind of vibe. That's what I'm getting. So no, I don't think it's your high school sweetheart.
Okay.
You're very welcome, Luna.
Stella 12. I dream of places I've never been to. I would love to know if my past life are in. Well, okay, I don't have to throw a card on this one. Past lives are impacting this life. And sometimes we do dream of places we haven't been to in this life. But yes, those are generally, and what I do when I have one of those kind of dreams is I try to, when the next time I meditate, I try to say, what part of me does that hit? And I try to pick what chakra it worked with best in those places. So I'm not going to throw any cards on this, Stella, because I can tell you, I don't have to throw a card to tell you past lives impact your current life. What'd you get, Kelly? I
didn't throw any cards. I concur with everything that you said, but I would encourage you, Stella, to write down your dreams of these places that you have traveled to in your dreams, and then go on the internet. And I dare say you're probably going to find some of those places, some of those pictures, right?
Right.
If that makes sense.
I'll tell you how that works. I had a woman that I read, and we figured out, it was a long reading, and we figured out she lived in medieval Sweden. And she had majored in costumes, learning about costumes and how people dressed in the past. And so I told her if she meditated, she'd find this guy, because what it ends up was we saw she was married to someone who was a king or a leader. And so she meditated on it, and she saw the helmet he was wearing. Then she went looking at people in that time frame, and she found his picture. And then she found out he had gone off to war and left her to run the country. We found a picture of her, an illustration of her in that time. She looked exactly like the woman that we were talking about. So,
wow.
Yeah. I would love a past life reading and have become aware of several, but I told, okay, we can do this one. This is kind of why I put these at the end. Maya the healer. Yeah, you have had several past lives, and you could literally have had thousands by now. And they tend to have a theme that runs through them. And I think you're very aware of them because you've become a healer. And I'm going to do a really quick one to see if I can figure out what it is that you do from these past lives. Maya the healer. Ooh. Yeah, you've been a psychic and a reader in past lives. You were a sage. You were a male who did that kind of work. And you did it during some tough times and had to help people make some difficult decisions. So when you came in this life, you said, I don't really want to do that. I'm going to branch out and do a lot of different things. One of the reasons was that it was very heavy on your heart to work with that kind of information, even though what you really did is you healed people. You made them feel better. You made them understand. You were approached at a young age to learn about healing. And now as an adult, you are becoming a healer, but you do it very reluctantly because in the past you lived in a society that allowed it so much and it was so peaceful for you to do it, that our society is a little more contentious about it. I hope that's clear. I'm not sure if I made myself clear, but
I totally heard what you said.
okay. Well, I hope Maya did.
Maya, I've got wisdom, intuition, right? As Nancy Jean said, I've got the Bible, or biblical, sorry, not the Bible, biblical. I also got ships. So I feel like it was a journey between being like like a natural healer, a spiritual healer, as well as being someone who was involved in a religion or a church.
You know what I just flashed? You
What?
were one of those priests that went to South America and helped conquer.
Wow.
And you picked Maya. That's your name.
Yeah.
You're making up for past time, kid.
I've got the teacher learning a new path.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that all of those things in your past life just brought you so much joy. I don't think that it was all, sunshine and puppy dogs. I think that it was a rough journey for you, but your connection, heart, spirit, was the thing that kept you going. And then I've got happiness as your card. And so I think that the healer part of you is just like a gift that you were born with. And you may not understand why or how or who or whatever. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but I say just trust it. Not saying that you don't. Just put your faith in it and don't question it. And I'm not sure if you are or you're not, but I just thought that I should add that.
Yeah. No, I think she's pursuing it. I think this time she really wants to heal instead of destroy. Spiritual people can destroy too.
Yes.
Minnie Penny, QF2SC, whatever that is. I'm going to lay 3 cards in out of the past life deck to see what you got.
It's okay, sweetheart. It's all right.
Okay. Okay, what I got for you, Jenny Penny, is you lived in a commune, and when I looked at this, it looked like a house in the Middle East with a flat roof. You lived around the Mediterranean somewhere in a village that had a certain kind of size, but you lived in a time that was very perilous. You got a lot of phobias out of that life that you're working on right now. But one of the things that happened is you were raised in this sort of very secure communal living, and you went off and you left and you traveled. And I think because of the adventures you had after leaving there, it's made you more cautious about trying lots of new things in this life. That's how it's come forward. So,
All right. I got the male and female card with their backs to each
mhm,
other,
mhm,
and sometimes when I see this card, it feels like a struggle, right? Like I don't know who I am or where I fit in, and it's not what it's not what I thought it was going to be, like that kind of vibe.
mhm,
Then I've got the angels.
mhm,
I don't know. I feel like you died young,
mhm,
and I feel like it was tragic,
mhm.
but it wasn't totally necessary, is what I'm trying to say. I think that we've got the trees next, and I think that you a lesson that you may bring forward is that you often forget how strong you are, how connected you are to that sense of strength within you,
Mhm.
and that's something that you definitely brought forward. Um, that's what I got.
Okay. I think you had an interesting life. I think you left where you started from, and that kind of scarred you forever about taking off and just going to a new place. Okay.
Yeah.
Past life with Ken. We're going to do this one with the pendulum. Okay.
Oh, interesting. Maya says ancestry has her from the Mayan times.
Mm. Yeah. You had a past life with Ken. Okay. Is this sort of the end of that, or are they going to continue to keep meeting over and over and over again? It's going to be your own choice, but yeah, you two like to really pal around in all your lives. So, and I didn't feel anything negative. I just feel like it's what you do.
All right, just give me 1 sec. Sorry.
Okay.
Ooh, flyers. Um, Interesting card. I've got imprisonment or slavery,
Mm-hmm.
and I've also got conscious steps, which
Mm-hmm.
is considered action and looking forward. So I don't feel that you did have a past life with Ken,
Oh.
but I think that Ken reminds you of someone in your past life, and that you might feel like a sense of like sometimes like the walls are closing in, like things aren't
Mm-hmm.
exactly how you would want them to be. Um, and then I just pulled this card here, the monk. Well, I didn't pull it; it popped out. The monk or the nun. Um, so you may have brought forward some relationship issues. Is what I'm
Mm-hmm.
vibing from that. Sorry, I apologize. This is how spirit communicates with me. My nose running. Sorry, I'm fine. As soon as the live is finished, my nose will not be running.
Yeah.
No, because Pixie Dust was so kind to say, "I hope you feel better, Kelly." So I'm fine. I promise.
Kathy, this is it. This is the last reading. Kathy G. 5227. Hi, Nancy and Kelly. Could I receive a past life reading? Thank you. Yes, I'm going to do it with the quick cards because we're over an hour now. And I know people who tell me they won't watch a show that's over an hour. And
Well, we're only over by a few minutes, and I just want to say to
mm-hmm.
you, Nancy Jean, that you rock it out. There are people that take hours to get 10 questions done, and you rock it out. So.
Oh, you were an immigrant kid, and you got the orphan card too. The past life I'm seeing for you, you started out, you came over on a ship, you were an orphan, and I think you may have even been sold into indentured servitude. But that's how you got to this continent, and you ended up working on a farm. Let's see. I'm gonna pull a card to see about happiness.
Oh my goodness.
I think you're a boy, though. This is a picture of an orphaned girl, but I think you're a boy.
What is the deal? I'm dropping all my cards. Sorry.
You ended up in that life, kind of ended up on the good side of things. It had a really rough start, but you ended up with the Emperor, which meant you succeeded in a lot of ways. So I think, and I'm definitely sure you were a male. And you did work in a farm, and I really see you being sold into indentured servitude in New England. Maybe not. Maybe you got sent to Australia. Do you ever dream about Australia or going and listening to people with funny English accents? No offense to Australians. But anyway, you ended up being very successful there. So that would mean if those past lives come through in this one, the tougher the thing that you have to get past, the more successful you are. What'd you get, Kelly?
Okay, so I've got biblical.
Mm-hmm.
I have got, the high priestess or priest.
Mm-hmm.
I have got mother.
Mm-hmm.
And I got lessons and blessings, and 3 of those cards flew out.
Okay.
I did not choose them. So I feel like a little bit of what you were saying about the, had a really difficult sort of start in life. I feel like in this case, the high priestess or priest is like secrets, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the mother in this case is like an unhappy childhood. There was like some secrets around the childhood, but going to maybe an orphanage or a convent or something like that, another home, you were taken in by someone else, and that is where you started to open up and be shown what real love is like, and that's where the lessons and blessings come from. And in this current life, we've got relaxation, peaceful pursuits, and happy times. So if you are a person that is generally speaking very optimistic and hopeful and happy, if you are a person that doesn't like overreact to certain situations, right? Like you don't freak out, you don't panic, that's coming from that past life.
Mm-hmm.
Because that grounding of those lessons and blessings that was provided to you by that biblical experience is something that you carry forward, which is amazing. Don't we all wish that we could bring that forward? That's what I got for you.
Okay. That's our questions. That's our show. If you didn't get your question, didn't show up, I really took them in the timestamp order that I found them in the chat. So if you want to be sure, you will get reminded. I post my past life reading things usually 24 to 12 hours, somewhere in that field of letting you know. And if you want to get in, I do this by you have to be a member of my channel to get a reading. Not to be picky, but I really want to. I'm so close to 4,400. I'm like 6 people away. So, woohoo! And so if you know anyone who's interested in past lives, the next past life reading thing we're going to do, I'm going to do a little presentation about understanding kind of how to use them. Because I think that's important too. I mean, it's fun to know what they are, but.
And when are we doing that? That's October 26th, right?
Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We'll be doing that. And so I look forward to seeing y'all then. I look forward to seeing Kelly sometime probably in between those two. But anyway, and she really does not sniffle when she's not on camera.
No, I mean, we were talking for like a half an hour before the show started. I was fine. And as soon as we hit live, it's like,
Okay. Well, bye, everybody. You have a great day,
Bye,
and
friends.
blessings to everyone.